I guess because you're smart, you don't know how to defend yourself.
And in their mind, smart equals soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is some of the dumbest shit we do
Yeah,
as a people.
Unfortunately, I'm about to introduce you to this new type of intelligence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They say life is 1090.
We both hit the 40-year mark this year. So shout out to all the Pisces out there. But
and everybody that's turning 40 or have already turned 40.
And it got me to thinking of like lessons that I learned throughout each phase of my life. So for me, I think that first 10 years of my life, what I think back and what I can recall from the time I was born up until the age of 10 was just how vital family is. And thinking about it, how it really is like it takes a village, because I don't know what my parents would have done had not they had the support of family. My grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, taking me and my brother to the movies. I was like, I was summer entertainment, just little stuff like that. But the stuff I remember to this day. Yeah, that I carry with me. So what about yourself?
The highlight would be on Saturdays growing up, getting after it with my brother, watching wrestling on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? You trying to eat your bowl of cereal before you know it, you end up in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Because he'd end up got too excited, and there was nobody to. You couldn't go tell mama, she at the store, so you had to literally learn to be tough. But those were just some great moments.
And I don't know if it was because we were young and that's like all the access that we had was to our families. Like anywhere we went, our parents had to take us or approve us going there, whatever the case may be. But I don't know what happened. It's just like, I'm speaking for my family, it's just like after about the age 10, 11, 12, when you started hanging out, making your own friends, it's like that. It never really, that feeling never returned. I don't know what happened. I feel like it may have been after like my grandmother's passed, because they were both hubs for both sides of the family, my mother and father's sides of the family. Christmas, Christmas morning we would spend it on my father's side. Yeah. Then that afternoon we go over there to my grandmother on my mother's side. Yeah. And they were kind of like the matriarchs that kind of held those families together. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, do we still have that these days? Because I can just speak for my family. It's very rare that, we get more than 10 or 12 of us in the same place at the same time. And the only time that we do, unfortunately, nowadays is funerals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've lost that sense of family, just togetherness as a family. But that's one of those things that I hold dearly in terms of memories, was those times as a kid. But I wonder, like, how do we lose that? And do you feel the same way? Because that's just been my personal experience, but do you feel like that's kind of like after that generation of grandmothers passed on, like family being together?
Family. Now you just got to be more intentional about creating that environment for your family. It's because now we are 40 years old, you know what I'm saying? Right. We can get people to come to our home. But I remember the purity of it. I remember everybody coming together, for like Thanksgiving, one house, everybody rallying around to make Christmas special. And you really, really believed in Santa Claus. I remember peeing on myself when I was 8 years old.
Definitely.
They used to show you on the news Santa Claus was coming, right?
Right, just lying.
And so I remember, I think I was 8 years old. The restroom was like literally right outside our bedroom, me and my brother. And I just sat there and I just took one for the team because I ain't want to miss Santa Claus, man. I ain't want to ruin it for everybody. So, I remember that. But, family was big. It was key, man. After my granddad died, that's when things kind of changed. I remember that first Christmas not being the same.
All right. There's no way we'll be able to replace those that we lost. And we're able to recapture that feeling that you once had. But, it sucks seeing people that you grew up with and you loved, and the only time you get to see them is after you lost someone else.
Yep.
And that group started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You
we
feel
always
me?
say we gotta stop looking up like this.
Yeah, stop meeting like this. But there it goes.
You get on the hamster wheel, just caught up in that grind of just trying to make things happen. You know what I mean? Life happens, setback happens. You have opportunities in front of you that you really gotta seize, moments you can't miss. I mean, it's just life, not good or bad. It just is what it is. But with all that being said, I feel like you have to be very intentional of carving out that time, making sure you do your best to get people together or going out of your way to go see people.
Yeah. Yeah, because from like I say, that first 10 years, it was family, family, family.
That was it. It was no money to chase. We wasn't
was
thinking
nothing.
about
It was
money.
all, it was purity. You know,
Yeah.
and that's all you really wanted was to be around. Go see your cousins.
Go play, get something to eat.
Just having those memories. And, you know, I can't even imagine the way our parents, aunts, and grandmothers may have struggled financially just to give us the little that we had.
Absolutely,
but it never felt like we did not have enough. Like, if you statistically or, you know, by definition, we probably was living right above at the poverty line.
Absolutely, yeah. Just
But it never
right
felt
outside
like
of
that.
me. Nope. We
Never
felt like we had it all.
felt like you had it all, and it did not take very much at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you getting up into the next decade, them teenage years. That's when you really start to form your own personality, because you starting each and every year, you're getting a little bit more independence.
Yeah.
You're a little less dependent on mom and daddy to do for you, whoever, you know, you were looking for to take care of you. And that's when you start to choose your influences.
Man.
You start to choose who you want to emulate.
Yeah.
So whose perspective you want to adopt for your own.
That's like 6th grade. You remember what it was like getting ready to go to 6th grade?
Absolutely. So that's kind of like when like.
And now I got a little girl that's about to finish up 5th grade, and it's like, I'm just so grateful she's still a little girl right now, because I remember where I was at that time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but I know
like Otto.
the shift is coming. I got to get ready for this shift.
That
6th grade, boy.
Those outside influences start to become stronger and stronger, because it was
don't
less.
matter what you teach them in the house.
Right.
You feel me?
And today is even more crazy. I can't even imagine what you got on your hands with this social media era.
And I'm going to tell you what can be even more toxic than social media, not just for kids, but also adults, the group chats.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I literally have a homeboy whose son got into a fight this very week. Well, last week, because of
the group chat.
Started out in group chats, you know, and that's part of what I want to get to in that time frame from 10 to 20, those teenage years, is finding out where you fit in. So you think, you know, you want these guys to accept you because these are the people that you kind of identify with.
Absolutely.
But that could be something that may not be, you know, there may be something that's amiss with this group. Like, you like these guys, they cool, they come from where you come from, but you might be a little different. Or you might not feel like you fit in wholly. Yeah. And then you're trying to basically fit a square peg into a round hole type situation. And that kind of what that young man went through in a group chat. These are his homeboys, so he thought. And then the tables turned and everybody felt like they were ganging up on him, making fun of him. You know, it's tough being in there, you know. You don't really have the type of emotional intelligence at that age, hell, at any age, because even at 40, I can sit here and say it's only but so much I'm going to be able to take.
Especially if I feel like y'all trying to press
y'all come for me, you know what I mean? So if I feel like I'm being, you know, singled out, somebody trying to play with me like that, even at the age of 40, I don't know how much I can take. So I can only imagine a young man 17 years old. But that group chat, like you said, you know, making fun of him in a group chat. Then I see you in person, and now you feel like, you know, and then you know how it is.
It's on site.
I see you. Are you going to stand on business, as they say?
You better believe it. And it's on site. So and then you got people hyping it up. You got people watching. Yeah,
and I definitely, I said that story, but that's like identical to pretty much what I went through when I was in the 12 years old in the 6th grade.
Absolutely, yeah, I remember that.
You feel me? Yeah. It wasn't a group chat. No. It was a lunchroom.
Absolutely.
The little group that you sat with.
That was the first group chat.
The first group chat was like the guys you sat with at lunch.
Yeah.
But I think about it when I was talking to my homeboy, and we talked about that situation over that fight I got in the 6th grade because, you know, people cracking jokes on me and shit. And my bro, dude asked me like, well, where are those guys now that was making fun of you? Because they was making fun of me because I got put in advanced classes.
I was just about to go there. Well, the thing is, though, people, and I think those are real pivotal moments because people that you grew up with, you've been cool with this whole time. You know, you had these placement tests, right? That kind of separate people, right? So you start to separate and elevate your natural skill set. Just ends up being what it is. It's a gift, right? Your gift goes before you, make rooms for you. It elevates you. And a lot of times we don't know how to handle that, right? When our gift takes us away from people that we're comfortable around.
But I feel comfortable in a multitude of environments because of that. At a young age, you had to go be around people that didn't come from where you come from,
Yeah.
who were exposed to different things than you. So you get in these classrooms and you don't necessarily, quote unquote, feel like you fit in because these people aren't quite like me.
Yeah.
But then you are kind of like them on a level, especially
Just a different
intellectually,
level. Yeah.
So
may not be skin tone,
but
or gender.
Yeah, so you definitely, and that's one thing, you being in environments like that is you kind of get comfortable being an only, because you being the only one of your kind, whether it be the only male, whether it be the only person of color, whether it be, only person that come from a particular background in this particular setting, you get comfortable being the only one.
Yeah, you get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, get comfortable being uncomfortable in those situations. So I feel like that was an asset, even though at the time, you had to go through your growing pains because you are in those classes, you almost get a stigma, a label, like, like you say, in the 6th grade, because I was in advanced classes, that made me like a mark or something.
Yeah.
That made it was okay
to pick on you.
It was okay to pick on him because he I guess because you're smart, you don't know how to defend yourself.
And in their mind, smart equals soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is some of the dumbest shit we do as people.
Unfortunately, I'm about to introduce you to this new type of intelligence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We good at violence too, not just math.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel me?
Best of both worlds.
But so carrying those lessons on, figuring out where you fit in, and transitioning to that next decade when you from 20 to 30.
That's when I realized I learned more about consequences, because that's when I got in trouble at 19 years old. You follow me? In Panama City, again, rolling with what was going on around me, put myself in a compromising position, end up, catching a robbery charge and a burglary of an occupied dwelling with a deadly weapon. And that's when I learned about consequences and accountability, because the district attorney in the state of Florida said, I don't care about him being a good student or being an athlete. He came to Florida and got in some trouble, and it's time for him to pay up. So I learned that stove was hot as hell at 19 years old. Yeah. And I learned that they didn't care about your background. They don't always care about you being an athlete. And I learned that they would send your ass to prison too, far away from home, far away from home.
Oh yeah, 20s, that 20-year decade, from 20 to 30, that definitely is the decade where you learn a lot about adulting.
Yeah.
You got a crash course
in prison.
You got a crash course and a real, heavy reality check about adulting.
Yeah.
Based on decisions that you made, there are real life consequences that you're gonna have to deal with. Ain't nobody coming to save you.
No.
So you better make sure that you choose wisely.
It's time to man up. Yes, you are 19, but you're classified as a grown man.
You're an adult.
And you have to learn to go along and get along. You have to learn to be wise, because what we talked about, brute force and all of that, coming up as a 12, when you're 12 years old, somebody's picking on you, you want to show with brute force. Well, you can't always do that to people, especially not to a guy that's never going home. He could do something to you, and what can they do? He got a life sentence. He could do something to you, and at best, what they going to give him, 30 days in the box? What the fuck is 30 days in the box to somebody that's never going home? This man will really do something to you. So you have to learn to avoid circumstances and situations that can be hazardous, because you going home. You have a date when you get out. There is a time when you were EOS, he ain't. See what I'm saying?
For sure.
And you're in the same dorm as this guy. How you navigate those things? You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you just lay down, but you learn to don't put yourself in a position where things can get harmful.
If you are maturing and you seeing things for what they are, a little age will teach you things, life lessons along the way. You learn that. And for me on the outside, that was me getting out of college, getting my first real job, getting a little money, but never really feeling like it was enough, never really feeling like I was enough, because I got caught up in that comparison stage during that decade where I'm looking at everyone else around me, success. If I perceive what they did to be a little bit better or a little bit more than what I was doing or what I had, I perceived that as a knock on me.
Yeah.
I looked at it as like, I must be failing.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
100%. But that's also when I kind of developed or realized that you have to find value for you. Define your own value and put the value on yourself and not allow external forces or what people think about you to determine how you feel about yourself. You also learn that things can happen to you that's beyond your control. And you have to learn that regardless of what happens, you're going to have to be okay with who you are, and you're going to have enough resolve to handle what comes your way. 30 to 40 was just really about really establishing a solid foundation for the rest of your life.
It's like football or like any game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After you get a couple of hits, the game settle in, you're like, man, I got this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I've been doing this my whole life. After it settles down, you know, the adrenaline kind of wear off, you just go to handling business at that point. You know what I'm saying? Just going to do what you do or do what you've always done. You know, have fun and shine. So, you know, that's kind of where it sounds like you are in life. You're in that sweet spot. You know who you are. You know where your real value comes from. You start to see what you're capable of, and you're just ready to execute and blow. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like. When I got out, so early 20s, that's when I learned, really, I would say, I learned about consequences and I learned about avoiding unnecessary beef. Because I saw a lot of people, like, get into it, trying to just be macho man, and they got their head bust wide open. The second half, when I got out of prison, I was just so hungry, bro. I learned that hunger and a crazy work ethic would take you a long way. Like, prison made me, in a sense, it made me kind of like callous but tougher. Right. You know, certain things that the normal person cares about, I ain't care about. Like, a lot of people want to go out for spring break. I'm on the come up. You can go off spring break, I'm going to get all your shifts. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to get all your shifts. I'm going to get real good at this thing. And then by the time you come back, they ain't going to see the value in you as much no more. So that's what I learned. And then no matter how hard you work, how much money you make, your character, who you are when nobody's watching, that's what really speaks volumes of you. My mama got this quote. She loved this quote. It makes so much sense. I'm really going to adopt this moving forward in my life. But your character is better kept than recovered.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, think about that, man. It's like, damn, you don't have time to keep saying, I'm sorry. Sometimes you can't, and I'm sorry, it's not going to fix it. Sometimes you do the wrong thing, and who people thought you were, like that idea of you is gone forever.
Shattered.
You can never get that back.
Never.
You can never fix that. Some people will stay with you, some people will leave.
What's that line again? Your character is
better kept than recovered. She's been speaking that over my whole life. You know, some things happen in life, it's just in your face so much, you know what I'm saying, and it doesn't resonate. Then after some shit pop off, you're like, damn, okay.
You say character?
It's better kept than recovered.
So maintaining your position, maintaining your integrity, maintaining your financial stability, just don't ride the waves, man, be the wave.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
Don't ride the waves, be the wave.
So I think that's going to be my motto for sure, for the next 10 years for sure. Not riding no waves, just being the waves. Being steady. Being steady. Consistently getting better every day. And I'm really focusing on these 4 pillars for me is going to really enhance the trajectory of my life and ensure the outcome that I desire. Those 4 pillars for me: faith. You know what I mean? Gotta continue to work on my relationship with Christ.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
To me, that's gonna help shape my character. You follow me? Mm-hmm. My family, becoming a better dad.
Solid.
You know what I mean? I think I've been a good dad up until this point, but I can always take it up a notch, become a better dad. You know what I mean? I want that to be part of my legacy when it's over. Because, this man was a lot of things, but he was damn sure a great dad. Fitness, it's always been a part of who I am. I'm fixing to go harder. Because it's just that time. I'm getting older, right? So, those decisions to be healthier, to eat cleaner, to work out hard, get them strength training days. I'm probably gonna do something for mobility, might even do some Pilates, you know what I mean? Just to make sure that I'm fit and functional for at least the next 40, maybe even 50 years.
I feel like those are the 4 foundational pillars for a successful life, especially moving 40 and beyond.
Yeah.
Next decade and beyond: family, faith, fitness, and finance, taking care of yourself physically, financially. If you can make any type of positive impact that resonates after your physical body has left this earth, I feel like you've done well with your life.
Absolutely.
They say life is 1090. 10% of what happens, and 90% of how you respond. Yo, I'm trying to elevate, so I'ma take the ups with the downs. Pound for pound, the greatest, God gave me the crown. Graduated from the streets, got my cap and my gown. Made mistakes on the way, but I turned them around.